Who is Baron Vladimir Harkonnen from Dune, the massive bulge of depravity and evil? Baron Vladimir Harkonnen was simply known as the Baron in David Lynch's 1984 film Dune. However, now he's being addressed correctly as Vladimir Harkonnen after Denis Villeneuve's 2021 film, which has also received several Oscar nominations, including Best Picture. He is the primary antagonist of Frank Herbert's Dune books and other media.
The Emperor is a jealous man.
Number 1, Baron the villain.
A dangerous, jealous man.
Baron is clearly one of the most disgusting and sinister villains that the science fiction genre has ever produced. The constantly backstabbing and scheming, obese man seems like an amalgamation of many sinister villains, such as Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones, Jabba the Hutt from the Star Wars franchise, etc. So, you get the picture, right? He's a man who's always plotting someone's murder, sowing extreme levels of discord amongst parties, and even goes so far as destroying large sections of the population. And why? Well, simply for his own personal gain and authority. In essence, his empire and power rested on intimidation, fear tactics, and terror. Number 2, Baron the hideous monster.
No more.
Before we move forward, please consider subscribing to us. It may be a small click from you, but goes a long way for us. Moving on. Vladimir Harkonnen is quite nefarious, but what makes him seem more intimidating is his appearance. Frank Herbert's Dune depicted him as an obnoxiously fat man, and while his weight has been kept similar in the live-action depictions such as David Lynch's original film and Villeneuve's reboot, the other aspects of this hideous minion of the devil have changed significantly. Swedish actor Stellan Skarsgård did a wonderful job in bringing out the real essence of Baron Vladimir Harkonnen in Dune. Although the character had an important role to play in the film, he enjoyed rather limited screen time, but we are hoping that wouldn't be the case in the confirmed sequel of Dune, slated for release in 2023. And, furthermore, Denis Villeneuve has confirmed that House Harkonnen and its nefarious Baron would be more villainous than previously assumed. Skarsgård's role in Dune was a small but crucial one. Saying anything more would be spoiling it for you. Nevertheless, he's such a great actor that his presence in any film signals the fact that the film might be worthwhile. And, rightly so, Skarsgård not only gave the character a uniquely disturbing and menacing narrative but also went through a lot to get the appearance all right. The man would spend almost 7 hours on the chair so that he could wear foam suits and wear other special effects that weighed more than 20 pounds. He had to look obnoxiously fat, and Skarsgård would leave no stone unturned to get things just about perfect. Number 3, the nefarious Iron Fist ruler. When Frank Herbert was looking to create the different houses for his novel Dune, he wanted a harsh-sounding name for his villainous house. He came across the surname Harkonnen in a telephone book and thought that it was a Russian name and hence incorporated it in his work. However, the name Harkonnen has Finnish origins. Nevertheless, Harkonnen became the antagonistic house of Frank Herbert's Dune, in which the House of the Good Guys was called House Atreides. Naturally, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen was the penultimate head of House Harkonnen and the Baron of Gedi Prime, a rather desolate and heavily industrialized planet, under the iron-fisted rule of Vladimir. From the portrayal of Kenneth Macmillan in David Lynch's 1984 film and Stellan Skarsgård in Denis Villeneuve's 2021 film, we learn that the Baron is a corpulent man. While the book's Baron Harkonnen was a giant man who couldn't carry his own weight, Lynch's film gave him pus-filled blisters and the typical fatness, and Villeneuve's film depicts him in similar lines. According to Frank Herbert, Vladimir weighs around 200 kilograms, roughly 440 pounds, and needs suspensor belts to move around. These belts essentially nullify the gravitational force in a controlled way. Number 4, Baron's rise to evil. However, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen was once a rather attractive and good-looking man, complete with a muscular and tall physique along with red-gold hair. But years and years of unchecked corrupt behavior, debauchery, and indulgence in the prohibited pleasures of life turned him into the man that he later became. However, Prelude to Dune, a piece of work co-written by Brian Herbert, says that Harkonnen became the hideously fat monster he is because of sedating and raping a woman named Gaius Helen Mohiam. When she came to her senses, she inflicted him with a disease that made him the way he is. Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen looks menacing, but do you know what's more menacing and scarier? Well, the concept art for Baron Harkonnen that concept designer Jared S. Marantz recently shared on his Instagram profile. Take a look. Number 5. Baron's modus operandi. Herbert Harkonnen was an evil genius, but Lynch turned him into a sleazy, vicious buffoon, probably because of cinematic purposes. The novel depicted Vladimir Harkonnen as a man who despised violence and only used it in times of necessity. In fact, he never even derived pleasure out of violence and often let others do his dirty job even if he could do it himself. On the other hand, both David Lynch and Denis Villeneuve have depicted him as having no qualms for violence, so much so that Villeneuve's Baron goes on to kill a major character in the film. Nevertheless, Stellan Skarsgård ensured that his character wasn't a sleazy one who molested young boys, but rather someone who had the mind of an emperor, albeit a cruel one. Irrespective of his depictions and outlook, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen continues to act like a man who knows that one may have to lose a few battles to win the war. He was clearly one of the richest of all houses in the Dune universe because of his control over the planet of Dune, or Arrakis. Now, the planet Dune is the center of everything that's happening because it is the only place where spice melange is produced. The spice melange was an awareness spectrum narcotic that expanded an individual's consciousness and longevity of the body. Furthermore, it was the only commodity that facilitated space travel with extreme ease and efficiency. Naturally, spice melange was the most profitable and crucial commodity of the universe, and several houses conspired against one another to get control of Arrakis. One who controlled the spice controlled the universe. Number 6. What's wrong with Baron's eggplant? As far as his sexual orientations are concerned, there are various versions. Harkonnen was a sadistic pedophile in the books, but the film toned down his character a little and didn't explicitly detail his sexuality and orientations. On the other hand, Villeneuve's film didn't care to dwell on the subject. But according to the Dune Encyclopedia, compiled and edited by Dr. Willis E. McNally, Baron Vladimir Harkonnen suffered from the Oedipal complex, or a psychosexual stage of development of a child in which they desire their opposite gender parent while despising their same gender parent. But then this belongs to the extended universe, and one cannot really say if this notion is canon. Number 7. Was that a tarantula wolf? An interesting aspect about the Vladimir Harkonnen of Skarsgård was a strange and dangerous pet that he kept in his mansion. We get to see a huge spider-like creature with human hands for legs. Some theories suggest that this creature was a bin Playlix, or genetically enhanced creatures from the Dune universe, while others think that the creature was a tarantula wolf, as seen in Alejandro Jodorowsky's comic book The Metabarons. However, one of the theories suggests that the pet was a mutated form of a woman that Vladimir Harkonnen had abducted so that he could use her as leverage to make her husband do Harkonnen's bidding. Given that this creature was not mentioned in Frank Herbert's novel, it seems to be Villeneuve's brainchild, and we may see more of it in the next installment. If you haven't checked out the film yet, we suggest you do so right away because it is definitely one of the best sci-fi movies to have graced the theaters in decades. Keep checking out our channel for upcoming content on the Dune universe. That was all in this video. Take care, and have a good one.
My desert. My Arrakis.